Trapmore Gang, welcome back. And if you're a fan of Young Boy's music or Louisiana music in general, there is a name that you might be very familiar with from a few different songs that have shouted out this legendary and notorious street figure from the South. Okay, you might have heard the Young Boy song Free D-Dawg. Okay, you might have heard D-Dawg getting shouted out in all kinds of songs, but unfortunately, it sounds like D-Dawg is actually going to be gone for quite some time. A serious case has gone down. There's a lot of controversy about whether the police did him dirty. I'm going to be very honest in this video, okay? Some people haven't been feeling my honesty lately. I'm going to be very honest in this video. Everybody's saying that I'm a YB muncher, all right? I'm going to be very honest about this situation as well. And it's no disrespect, but this is a very, very tragic situation that went down. And D-Dawg is unfortunately facing the consequences for what appeared to be a very, very unfortunate and perhaps misguided decision. But he says that he's innocent. He says that he did nothing wrong. So let's get into all of the details of the case, and I'm going to let you guys make your minds up. Use your own brains. Take in all of the information that I'm going to give you in this video. Use your own brains, and let me know in the comments what you actually think happened and what you think the fair outcome for this case should be. So this is the case in question that's regarding D-Dawg. It says Man sentenced to 10 years for causing fatal crash while fleeing Baton Rouge police. Okay, a crash. It was a fatal crash. Somebody died, and it was very, very serious. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll read you a little bit of this article, but then we're going to go back in time and we're going to actually recap everything that actually went down in this situation. This is a man who caused a fatal wreck while leading police on a high-speed chase has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. Darian Jerome Bailey, 27, pled no contest in July to charges of negligent homicide and illegal carrying of weapons with controlled dangerous substances. The judge imposed the prison stint during a November the 4th sentencing hearing, according to the 19th Judicial District Court records. Now, D-Dawg is a legendary figure in the kind of Young Boy, Baton Rouge, NBA lore. Young Boy had this song Free D-Dawg in April 2019, obviously in tribute to his incarcerated friend and, you know, calling for his release, wanting him to be released. And basically, D-Dawg was a pretty notorious figure. I'm not going to lie, okay? Look, you want to call me the police? You want to say I read things off Reddit? Okay, that's fine. I'm going to read you some crazy, brazy stuff off Reddit, okay? Because if you search D-Dawg's name on the NBA's Youngboy subreddit, you'll find a lot of crazy stuff. They're saying that D-Dawg apparently caught a body at 12. It says 12 years old. He knocked one off. We had to sit 10 years around, right? And people in the comments saying, yeah, D-Dawg only got away with it because he's mentally handicapped. I don't know if that's a joke or if that's true. They're saying, so when YB was saying free D-Dawg in 2019 and stuff, that was for the case when he was 12 or something else. People saying, so you telling me you ain't seen D-Dawg on stage with him 2018? They're saying there's pictures of YB with D-Dawg in early 2018, late 2018, right? People saying there's a lyric on YB's Life Before Same. He said, my dude just called my phone. D-Dawg caught a body. Apparently they tried to rob a house and end up killing somebody. They're saying, yeah, it was 3 of them. It isn't known who killed the person, but only one of them served time. It says D-Dawg then served 10 years because he left a dude dead. Been screaming free him since they was kids. They're saying, so he was in jail since the age of 12. That was crazy. Other people saying, I thought that it was when he was 14. Now, there's a bunch of kind of legendary moments, all right, where D-Dawg has been involved, where he's kind of like basically frontlined on tours for YB. This is a throwback to when a fan tried to step into YB and D-Dawg was in the cut, making sure ain't nobody playing with him, all right? So let's just have a little look at this. Hopefully there's no music. Oh, no. Yeah, we're gonna have to blur that one. I see these comments. It says those old shows was nothing but 5 songs, then a Royal Rumble. It says, I swear I know so many people from different states and cities that said the NBA crew was always starting stuff in the crowd, and I agree, because they would purposefully enter the crowd and see who wants to try them or look at them wrong. People throwing stuff is a different story, though. You can find so many shows on YouTube with these guys fighting. Ain't they fight their own security? He said, I remember when 10 took the mic and asked the crowd if they wanted to fight him one-on-one. He said, all of those guys are a bad mix together, not to mention Quando starting stuff too, all real deal crash outs. I know 3 in Montana had bad anxiety babysitting these dudes, man. They're saying fans started whipping on him too. They're saying, where the hell did he even come from, man? And there's a lot more kind of legendary D-Dawg moments that kind of, that's kind of popped off over the years, okay? So let me find you some more of these crazy D-Dawg moments. This is a Reddit poster on the NBA. It's all from the NBA Youngboy subreddit. It says the story of D-Dawg. D-Dawg is a dude from New Orleans. Some of y'all might ask, how did D-Dawg get introduced to the street life? His brother Lil Ben did. D-Dawg at 14 got caught his first murder charge from a robbery gone wrong with his brother and cousin Juan. And they're saying he's a rat. I can't confirm or deny that, but they're saying the victim of the robbery ended up dying. Nobody knows who pulled the trigger that caused his death, but we do know that D-Dawg shot his cousin Juan on accident. It seems like Juan being shot and taken in leads him to rat on D-Dawg and Lil Ben, his cousins. Lil Ben ended up spending life in jail, still in jail to this day, trying to get an appeal. And y'all might wonder why D-Dawg never went to jail. Well, his mother to the cops, D-Dawg wasn't in the right mind and something is wrong with him. So basically insanity. Or we saw in that last post they were saying he was slow, but they're saying more like an insanity plea. So D-Dawg only spent some months in juvenile hall before being freed again. What happened to Juan? If you wondering, he is not on talking terms with that side of the family. They're saying murder charge at 14. Bro was moving mad. We must have some UK people in this subreddit because that's how they talk. Because I heard people saying that YB paid D-Dawg bail and it was $19 million. True or cap? And apparently, okay, I don't know about $19 million, but I think in between this whole situation happening, it was reported that Youngboy paid $1.6 million bond, okay, for D-Dawg to come out, right? And they're saying, I hope he don't go back, but unfortunately, we do know that he has gone back. They're saying, real dude. I don't know if he a crash dummy. That's his dog from when he was 8 years old. So on God, he even mentioned him in 4 for a reason, and he made that song when he was 11. He's always been riding for him. They're saying 1.6 million on bail is insane. Saying dude's a crash dummy. He's going to be back in a few months. I can't believe they even gave him bond. All right. They're saying he keep crashing out like he been doing, and YB keep getting him out. They're going to come with the Rico. People say, how do you really know if YB dropped the bag? They're saying, who else would pay for this guy, man? So look. He's a legendary character. Obviously, you got Youngboy making songs like Free D-Dawg. So when D-Dawg was free, obviously it was a good day, right? Youngboy posted D-Dawg finna walk out that bitch today. Get ready. Thank you. Okay. So he was ecstatic. All right. This was back in 2023. So I would assume they're saying he's the one who needs to be on house arrest. They're saying, on God, D-Dawg going to be back in there in a week. The crash out himself, quite literally. Okay. Quite literally. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but you know, this is a guy who is sort of, you know, just legendary as far as the actual lore of, you know, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Youngboy, the NBA crew. Like, he is just a legendary figure. People have been waiting for him for ages. And this is 3 years ago. They're saying these are the D-Dawg charges. And so basically this situation happened quite a long time ago. It says first degree vehicular. I assume that's first degree vehicular, negligent injuring, resisting officer, manslaughter, aggravated flight. It's some serious charges, right? And the fact that he was able to come out and be free for a little bit and be on tour is actually crazy. The people are saying, I guess you can say he did it the dumb way, which is obviously the name of the subreddit that covers Baton Rouge, obviously. They're saying this is why people support Charleston White's movement. They're saying he's slow. They're saying D stands for dummy. But yeah, people are saying, I wonder how he feels. Right, so people are saying he's going to get 5 years. Shoot, man, this is another post that's going around. It says D-Dawg's mental instability explained. All right, I'm not vouching for this video, but I'm just going to react to this. You tell me what you think.
Something off about D-Dawg mentally, and this would be fully revealed during his murder trial. His mother told law enforcement that D-Dawg began having behavioral problems after he was hit by a car while riding his bicycle at a young age. At the time of his murder trial, D-Dawg was still underage. Prosecutors wanted him to be tried as an adult, but after a mental evaluation, a juvenile court judge ruled that he would stand trial as a juvenile. After 2 days of testimony, Judge Pamela Taylor Johnson found D-Dawg had borderline intelligence and the mind of a 10-year-old, even though he was a teenager. Additionally, a user on Reddit that claims to have been locked up with D-Dawg back in the day allegedly witnessed his mental instability firsthand. According to the user, when D-Dawg was locked up as a teenager, he would allegedly go on rampages and fight the guards, even while he was butt naked. The guards would allegedly be peppered.
Wait. Hold up. Rewind.
According to the user, when D-Dawg was locked up as a teenager, he would allegedly go on rampages and fight the guards, even while he was butt naked. The guards would allegedly be pepper spraying him and everything, but he would keep on fighting.
Bruh, I do not want no problems with D-Dawg. I do not. Bruh, if anyone's seen the film Bronson about the notorious British gangster Charles Bronson, he used to grease himself up and try and fight the prison guards naked. They couldn't even get hold of him. Bruh, I'll have to run that back one more time. That's crazy. What the hell?
User, when D-Dawg was locked up as a teenager, he would allegedly go on rampages and fight the guards, even while he was butt naked. The guards would allegedly be pepper spraying him and everything, but he would keep on fighting. Ultimately, D-Dawg pled guilty in 2019 to a manslaughter charge. He was given 10 years in prison, but only served 8 before he was released. D-Dawg's wild behavior in prison would lead to more charges, as he was charged with 2 counts of battery on a police officer and multiple counts of resisting a police officer with force or violence.
So, okay, it's pretty serious, right? People saying that can't be real. Apparently that's real, man. Apparently that's what really was going on with D-Dawg. Now, there's a couple other posts that I thought were interesting. Okay, this is apparently his mugshot after the incident, and obviously you can see he kind of cut up. Obviously it was a serious car accident that he was involved in. And you know, it's not a great situation to be in. You know, it's definitely not a good situation to end up in. You got some people on Reddit basically saying, who's the most crazy 4K Trey member? Obviously 4K Trey, Young Boys crew. They're saying, to me, it's D-Dawg. All right, a lot of people think he is the craziest, the wildest. Okay, but then a lot of people say Baba Osama. You know, he had something like 9 murder charges. All right, that is absolutely crazy. People saying either Barber or D-Dawg. That is basically who is fighting for the biggest, craziest crash out in NBA. Now, there's old throwback videos of D-Dawg like thugging and wilding out in prison, going around. Like, this is how busy he was getting in the jail, man.
Hey, show them bitches you got your weight up, little bitch. Show them bitches you got your weight up, little bitch. Big 4K. Big 4K. Big 4K. Yeah. Yeah. Big glizzy shit. Glizzy me right sweet.
I ain't gonna lie, Louisiana prisons look mad. Like, look at all them bunk beds, man. But the UK prisons, bro, you might get 2 people in the cell, 2-3 people in the cell. This looks crazy. This is a giant dormitory, bro. It's actually crazy. Yeah. So look, D-Dawg was wilding out. All right, he was definitely doing his thing. He was not playing. All right, he's not to be played with. There's one more thing I'll show you. Right, there's this clip, and people saying D-Dawg don't be playing. This was just 2 months ago when he was on the tour. Now, for somebody that is currently facing 10 years for a police chase in a car where somebody lost their life, it's not what I would want to see somebody be doing. That's all I'll say, man. Look what he's doing in this clip. He immediately nearly ran. I think people are saying that's a little dumb. Saying he immediately nearly plows into someone in the whip straight away. Like, chill, bro. Just D-Dawg, man, would not just. You can't have the keys no more, man. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. It's just not happening. But look, I'll take you guys back and I'll basically run you through kind of all of the backstory and the details about the situation. So the crash itself, where that D-Dawg's now being sentenced for, happened all the way back in September of 2022, when D-Dawg was in this big high-speed chase with the police. He crashed the vehicle, and unfortunately, one of the passengers who was riding with him did lose their lives.
Once again, the system has failed. A man convicted in a murder from 2012 picked up on attempted murder charges, out on bond Monday when he led police on a chase that left a passenger in.
So they're saying he was convicted of a murder in 2012 and he was out on bond for attempted murder charges, and then he was in a chase with the cops and then somebody died. Like, they're saying the system failed. Yeah, we're not pointing the finger at D-Dawg. We're going to say the system failed.
His car dead. Chris Nakamoto with the troubling trend that has been exposed by the investigative unit now for years.
Michael, it has happened again. A suspected career criminal out on bond caught committing more crimes. Tonight, a passenger in his car is dead after the driver with an extensive criminal history fled from police. Mangled metal and car fragments are all that's left after Darian Bailey refused to stop for police and slammed into a car on Winborn Monday afternoon. A passenger inside the car Bailey was driving died. Years ago, Chief Murphy Paul talked about the problem his department was having with the revolving door with the justice system.
We dealt with him before. The same individuals. That is what I hear from my officers. We arrest them, and then we have to deal with them again. Shooting incidents, murders.
So just before we go any further with this, I want to make something very clear. And some people aren't going to like to hear this. Some people are actually going to love to hear this. But I've been getting so much hate recently for my comments on Lil Durk, basically saying that, you know, I feel like he's personally, in my opinion, that he's cooked. He's in a lot of trouble. There's a lot of evidence against him. It seems like there is a really tough case against him for murder for hire. And a lot of people have been saying, oh, it's because you're an NBA meat rider and you're an NBA young boy, you're on that side, you're hating on Lil Durk. I'll keep it very real with you. I think there could be an NBA Rico coming, right? So all the Durk stands, everybody that think, oh, you're hating on Durk because you like Youngboy's music. No, I think NBA Rico could be coming. And just look how frustrated these police officers are. They're actually genuinely frustrated. They're actually tired of having to deal with this. People that they're trying to keep the community safe, and people are doing murders and then getting out, and then they're doing attempted murders, then they're getting bond, then they're having high-speed chases and people are dying, and we've got manslaughter charges, and they're still jumping out on $1.6 million bond and going on tour and jumping in the whip and nearly hitting Lil Dump. All right? So just for complete impartiality, I've said OTF is full of crash outs. You know, I know everyone in NBA loves D-Dawg, but bro, might not need to be free D-Dawg. You might need to keep D-Dawg, like, definitely not behind, at the very least, not behind the wheel. All right? I'm not even trying to be funny.
That is what I hear from my officers. We arrest them, and then we have to deal with them again. Shooting incidents, murders. What's right about that?
Tonight, the WBRZ Investigative Unit uncovered Bailey has a conviction tied to a 2012 murder. Derek Marino was killed. His wife and daughter ran out of the home, barely escaping the gunshots, after Bailey and two others showed up and killed Marino in what was described as a robbery. This was Marino's aunt at the time of his murder.
They're cowards, and all I got to tell them is they need to get up and get them a job. Therefore, they won't have to rob other people.
The WBRZ Investigative Unit uncovered a troubling history with Bailey, now tied to multiple crimes. Court records show Bailey was arrested at the age of 14 for a murder off Wyandotte in 2012. He pled guilty in 2019 to a manslaughter charge. Between his arrest for the murder in 2012 and now...
Wait a minute. Reload. Rewind. Hang on, what?
Unit uncovered a troubling history with Bailey, now tied to multiple crimes. Court records show Bailey was arrested at the age of 14 for a murder off Wyandotte in 2012. He pled guilty in 2019 to a manslaughter charge. Between his arrest...
I feel like I was just struggling to understand that. It sounds like they're saying in February 2019 he pled guilty to a manslaughter charge for the situation in 2012. It didn't sound like it was a separate manslaughter charge.
Arrest for the murder in 2012 and now, he was also accused in an attempted murder from 2018. He was arrested for that shooting this month and was given a $300,000 bond by Judge Fred Crafassi. Days later, Bailey posted bond and was involved in a chase where he fled from police. It ended with the death of a passenger in his car. Questions are being raised about whether a judge even looked at the suspect's record. How did that suspect manage to get a bond with a conviction on his record tied to a 2012 murder case? Those are questions we reached out to the judge's office to explain. In an attempt to see how the system can stop repeat offenders from continuing to cause havoc on our streets, more than a year ago we showed you this trio of troublemakers, out free on not one, not two, but three different bonds.
You might recognize some faces from this lineup from the deadly war in Baton Rouge.
At the time, District Attorney Hiller Moore telling us this.
If someone's out on multiple bonds and give him a chance and then give him a second chance, and now he's again on third set of allegations.
Tonight, it appears second and third chances didn't work for Bailey, who was being chased by police. They found weapons and a ski mask in the car he crashed, raising concerns and questions about what he was going to do next. Sources provided us with Bailey's identity. He is still in the hospital tonight, but police have said he'll be booked with multiple crimes when he's released. Meanwhile, calls to the judge's office were not returned by news time. For his role in the 2012 murder, Bailey was sentenced to 10 years at hard labor. He did about 7 before it was back out on the streets, allegedly committing more crimes. Michael?
I'll just be real, man. Like, it's no bias. Everyone says that I'm biased towards Dirk and, I'm glazing young boy. But, bro, D-Dawg, like, bro, you're a menace. No offense. Like, you are actually a menace to society. Like, you probably shouldn't be out doing this stuff over and over again. Whether or not it's being part of a robbery where somebody gets killed, driving recklessly where people get hurt. And what we're going to see in a little bit, unfortunately, and I'll just keep it very real, we're going to see some pretty flagrant efforts to try and dodge accountability, but a lot of people are saying that they actually believe that he was set up and the police are trying to frame him. So after this, all right, reports would come out that his bond was going to be set at $19.7 million after this high-speed chase, all right? And for the average person, a $19.7 million bond is, you're cooked, you're finished, ain't no way you're getting out. But not when your brother, your broski, your main man, your homie, your right hand is making songs called Free D-Dawg, and on top of the mountain, looking down on all these people hating on me. And I know you got them all debating on me. Give him that bond, man. Let's free D-Dawg. So D-Dawg got out, all right? And he had been out on bond awaiting trial, okay? And you might remember this viral moment, okay? You might remember, okay? He appeared in a DJU interview. Shout out to DJU, all right? This was a legendary moment. And a lot of people might not have realized, like, the actual, you know, the connection here and everything that was going on with this, okay? He was out on bond awaiting the actual, you know, the trial and the sentencing and how this was all going to go down. And he appeared in this DJU interview, okay? And he alleged that the police were actually stalking him before the crash. And he would show a screenshot that appears to be from the body cam footage with the Fredo Bang track, Click Up, playing in the cop car. And what he's inferring is that basically, look, the cops were playing the ops music. Let's hear what you had to say, bro. And I'm gonna do him the exact same way that I would do anyone from OTF.
Man, this shit big, man. This shit big, man. That's the police, man.
Right.
Man, that's the police. Bumping up. Like, come on, son.
Okay, that's a police
While
car.
stalking me.
That's a police car.
Yeah.
Bro, you done had a murder and you out on bail for an attempt. I don't know if stalking you, like, I feel like maybe just reasonably surveilling you, bro. You a menace. You a problem. You a problem in these streets, bro. Like, the police, you talking about the police stalking you? I'm not gonna lie, we all love the music, we love Youngboy's music, we want Youngboy to have all of his friends around him and all of that good stuff, bro. But, like, if the police is stalking anybody, it's the guy with the body that's out on bond for an attempt. I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm gonna do 4K Trey exactly how I do OTF, bro. Like, police ain't stalking you, bro. Like, you a problem, bro. You a problem in these streets.
That's what you were trying to show us.
The song called Clicked Up. You know who made Clicked Up?
You talking about Fredo Bang, Click Up?
Oh, man, shit. Police. Okay.
So he trying to act like, oh, the cops was playing the ops music, so it's like they really trying to antagonize me and trick me. And what he basically does is later kind of go on to explain how the police were basically coming after him in an unmarked vehicle, okay? And basically what the angle that he's going to try and portray is that, like, the police came at him in an unmarked vehicle playing the ops music to make him think that he was actually getting hit by the ops rather than the cops. And what I think is an attempt to try and have, like, a reasonable excuse for what his behavior is. At the end of the day, like, he thought it was the ops, so he was trying to escape. That's not an excuse. Somebody lost their life. There's no excuse. And there was, from what I understand, there was actually a child in the back of the vehicle as well who was trapped after the crash. So we're gonna get to that in a minute, man. But let's hear what else he had to say.
Oh, they got a black charger. How many people you know got a black charger?
Oh, okay, so you're saying you was being chased in a black charger?
Black motherfucker. It wasn't even a police car. How the fuck else- nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? This shit wasn't a police car.
So you thought it was probably like some other stuff on your ass?
Boy, hey.
I reckon it.
Shit.
Okay.
So what? If the ops are on your ass, you just do whatever you want? You just plow through a crowd of 10 people and kill them all? But yeah, the ops were on my case, man. Like, this is the same thing, all right? And I'm going to do it in this video. Everybody's been on my case about the Dirk thing. Oh, you've been so hard on Dirk. But it's like, bro, we can't live in a society where you guys can just you can just pull up. But, bro, Your Honor, he was trying to slide for Von. Yeah, but he missed and hit a random guy who was Lil Pab, who had nothing to do with the situation, wasn't even there when Von died. Yeah, but he was trying to slide for Von. Like, the judge going to bang the gavel and be like, well, he was trying to slide for Von, so we're going to have no justice. Like, you can just murder random people if you was trying to slide for Von. Like, you can just crash your whip and everyone in your car dies and you're not accountable because you thought the ops was chasing you and they was playing Fredo Bang music. Like, Your Honor, yeah, I know I crashed the whip and I was driving crazy, right? And I was driving reckless and I endangered everyone in my vehicle and somebody lost their life because of my decision making. But, bro, they was bumping that Fredo Bang. Like, the judge going to be like, damn. Not guilty, man. He was bumping that Fredo Bang, man.
Wow, and so you were charged with vehicular?
I was sitting at the apartment, bro. I heard the music. I heard the music from the jump. That's why I'm like, man, let me, you know what I'm saying?
So he heard that Fredo Bang. That's why he just took the dash and just somebody died in the car that he crashed. Like, I'm sorry, but as a civilized society, we can't have it, bro. And I'm unbiased. I'm balanced, okay? I say the same stuff for OTF as I say for 4K Trey, bro. Like, this guy's a problem, bro. Like, you need to sit down. I'm sorry. No cars, no driving. You need to sit down. It's not cool. We're not having it. Like, You are an issue. Like you really was lucky that they even let you out to cause this much terror in your time. Like you had an exceptional run. Like you had a run you maybe shouldn't have even had, to be honest. So you know what I mean. You should be happy with that crazy run you had.
Let me get, but soon out so I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get out of there, but the whole time and on some whole other shit, but.
So he trying to say like, bro, he's actually trying to make a case like, yo, I was acting reasonably, that they was bumping that Fredo bang. I'm trying to get out of there, bro. That's not reasonable. And here's the thing I try and explain to a lot of people. I'm not from the streets, okay? And I understand that guys from the streets, they're dealing with different situations, different traumas that I can never truly fully grasp. But if we have a society where if you hear the ops music, you can just book it and kill anyone in your wake, what sort of society are we living in, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, bro, like I just plowed through 10 people at an intersection, but I swear I heard some Central C. I was trying to book it, bro. I heard his manager was trying to, you know, was trying to pop, bro. I just book. Nah, man. So I'm really sorry, but no, we can't have it. So during this same interview, right, things got particularly heated. Okay, we did actually see quite a heated exchange after DJU basically asked D-Dawg why he liked going to jail so much, okay? And this was like a viral short that was clipped up and going around.
So about how much time total have you spent in jail?
Man, I ain't lying, dude. I'm 27 years old, man. I did at least half of that shit in jail, man.
Really?
Shit. Man.
You done with it or what? You got a boyfriend in there?
You got what?
I'm saying, why you like going, why you?
Nah. That one's crazy. That one's crazy. Like, bro, when he said, why do you like going to jail so much? You got a boyfriend in there is crazy. Like, you over whooping right now.
What?
Why you like going so much?
What?
No, I'm just asking. You say.
You said that to the wrong person, DJU. You wrong for that, bro. You fully overly wrong for that, bro. You over whooping, okay? How are you gonna, this D-Dawg. This, you playing with your life with that one. That's crazy.
You spent half your life in there. What's the biggest lesson you learned, you know what I'm saying, while in jail?
To not fuck over niggas like you.
Okay. What's one of your craziest stories?
You finna be my craziest story.
Damn.
But hey,
no pun intended, right?
Hey, don't make me choose, baby.
You know that was Vaughn.
Don't make me choose, baby.
No, we just had to have an interview. I ain't no bullshit, but
keep it that way there.
For sure.
Bruh, that was tense, bro. That was tense. I would never, look, I'll keep it real. I would say D-Dawg probably shouldn't be out here on the loose in the streets, and he definitely shouldn't have a driver's license. But you got a boyfriend in there is crazy, bro. Like, you playing with your life, DJU. You playing with your life. You playing around. Okay, and then he also would go on to basically press DJU because DJU would mention the fact that he was King Von's former DJ, and we know all these guys ain't playing with King Von, DJ, and you know, OTF and all of them, bro. They're not cool with all that stuff, bro. So this nearly went left a couple times. DJU definitely doing too much, but also I got to shout him out for his bravery because he really frontlining with a real crash out right now.
Chicago based, obviously I am, you know, King Von's former DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me say you something though. Let me tell you something. Come here. Just come here. Bro, look. Hey, look. Hold this.
What's this?
Hey, nigga, this that shit. This show how that motherfucking nigga, how Chicago will come to that motherfucking rank and take over, nigga. Hold this, nigga. What the fuck, nigga?
Hold what? Your life?
Hey, man. Hey, hold this, nigga.
Hold your life?
Man, hold this fucking flag, nigga. Hold this flag, nigga.
Bro.
Hold this flag, nigga.
Let's do the interview, brother. Do the interview.
Hey, man, fuck this interview, nigga.
Let's do the interview, dude. Hey, we'll just do the interview, brother. We'll do the interview, brother.
Damn, what he on?
He's trying to make him to hold the green flag, man. Green flag activity. That was actually crazy. So there was also another part in this interview where DJU would basically reveal that D-Dawg was looking at him crazy the whole time. All right. No, DJU would, my bad. DJU would basically do an interview about this interview, and he would say that D-Dawg was looking at him crazy the whole time, and he even took his phone hostage until the end of the interview, right? Look at this. This is wild.
So the nigga NBA D-Dawg, he was just acting like hella paranoid before the interview, bro. Like that nigga was like literally staring at me, watching every move I make type shit. You feel me? I had to run out to my car to get something, bro. Hey, them niggas crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That interview experience was one of a kind. I had never experienced no shit like that. Nigga took my phone, tossed it in the grass, and told me it'd be there for you when the interview over. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, I'm like, okay, let me be cool, you feel me? Let me do my job, let me make it back home safe. So we both was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable, NBA D-Dawg was uncomfortable as well, he'll tell you that. But I don't understand, why would you invite me down here to come interview you if you gonna be so uncomfortable?
So, yeah, I mean, it low-key was a viral moment, and D-Dawg kind of did his thing as far as creating a viral moment. So DJU, I think deep down knows that, like, that was some viral stuff. But basically, you know, just a month after sitting down with DJU, D-Dawg would actually, you know, have to kind of face the music, and he would ultimately plead no contest to the charges related to this fatal police chase. So it said he caused the fatal crash while fleeing the police in Baton Rouge. Here's how he fared in court. A convicted killer with a serious criminal history accepted a plea deal nearly 3 years after he led Baton Rouge police on a high-speed chase with fatal consequences. D-Dawg pled no contest Monday to charges of negligent homicide and illegal carrying of weapons with controlled dangerous substances. District judge presided over the case and set the sentencing for November the 10th. And then it kind of had all the details about it here. You know, we already heard his side of the story, but obviously it said that basically he fled a traffic stop. Larry Harris, who was the front seat passenger in the car, was ejected through the windshield when Bailey crashed into 2 other vehicles while trying to outrun a police officer. He faced charges of manslaughter, and basically it said that the detectives became suspicious when he spotted a Nissan with tinted windows stopped illegally in the exit passageway of the Renaissance Gateway apartment complex. The officer noted a man determined to be Bailey was behind the wheel in a black hoodie with a mask on his face in the midsummer humidity with a juvenile sitting in the back seat. And I think just this little detail that there was a juvenile in the back seat, and I think what we're going to find out is they got trapped in the back of the car after the crash and somebody died. Bro, you putting kids in you putting juveniles in danger, bro. Like, this is just a dub, bro. Like, we love the music, yeah, free D-Dawg, all of that stuff, bro. But like, bro, you need to sit down. You need to not be doing any of this stuff. We already saw you nearly run a little dump over jumping in the car after the show. And like, we're gonna need that license. You're gonna need to lose your driver's license. If this was the UK, bro, I swear you would have lost your driver's license. But in the US, man, they move differently. It said the officer followed the Nissan out of the complex after Harris got in the passenger seat. The officer flickered his lights and sirens, but Bailey sped away. Now, this is interesting, right? Because he was saying, oh, I heard they was playing Fredo Bang, so I sped away. But the officer's saying he put on the lights, and Bailey knew exactly what he was doing. He booked it in a high-speed chase. You know, it sounded like they had firearms and drugs in the car, and he ran red lights, drove into oncoming lanes, and eventually he was westbound on Winbourne Avenue when he tried to speed through an intersection and collided with a Ford and a Ram truck. So he crashed into two cars going through an intersection, man. 3 people in the other 2 vehicles had to be rushed to the hospital. Again, he's got no care for the people around him, bro, and it's not cool. Harris was ejected and laying on the ground near the front passenger door. Bailey climbed out the driver's side over the passenger seat and took off running on foot after the crash, and a juvenile was trapped in the back seat and had to be taken to a hospital for evacuation. All right, just think of all of the pain and trauma and suffering that he has inflicted on people because of the bad decision he made. And what's his excuse? They were playing Fredo Bang's music, and they was in an unmarked Charger. It's not okay, man. It isn't actually okay. They found him 2 blocks south of the crash. Police said a .40 caliber Glock was thrown from his window as a result of the wreck, along with a micro Draco semi-automatic pistol with an extended mag. Police found the weapon wrapped in a blanket near the crash, and 2 grams of marijuana also found in the vehicle. And so this kind of basically says that he made statements on jail calls that he ran from the traffic stop because he knew he had 2 guns in the car and feared being arrested for them. Prosecutors said he put the car in sport mode and claimed he would either go to jail or die. But again, it's all well and good when you're saying, look, I'll die, fuck it, I'll go to jail and die. But it's like, what about the juvenile in your car? What about the other man in your car? Maybe they were all down, maybe they weren't, but somebody died, and that's your fault. That's your decision making that led to that. So basically after this, right, D-Dawg remained free until sentencing. And he actually would go on Instagram to essentially explain why he ended up taking a plea deal in this situation. And basically, he broke this down in a post. Let me see if I can show this a little bit more clearer. All right, so this says, in 2022, I was charged for the death of a passenger in my vehicle after an alleged high-speed chase with an officer in an unmarked car. Look, I gotta say, this statement, like, a lot of what D-Dawg has put out there, it really does reek of like just lack of accountability, and he really should take accountability for some of these things that have gone on. The group of officers who stalked me are known as the Brave Team. Google them. They're either fired under federal investigation or have been arrested for breaking the law, violating civil rights, etc. They lied on me, hid evidence. had the car destroyed, and more. They knew the passenger opened his door seconds before a car hit the side he was on. They lied and said he was ejected after striking the windshield. They rigged the entire report to frame me for his death and destroyed the car so I wouldn't have proof. Believe none of what you see in the media. I'm sorry, but even if, like, okay, let's do exactly what he said, all right? So, Baton Rouge police are under investigation for brave cave tactics, all right? They're saying several lawsuits accuse Baton Rouge Police Department of maintaining a brave cave in a warehouse that's been used for strip searches. So apparently there was a brave cave. It's like, I didn't find anything on Brave Team. They're saying that police officers were arrested in connection with being part of this so-called brave cave scandal. A torture warehouse?
Because of lawsuits that claim officers tortured detainees in an off-site warehouse. NBC News Now correspondent Stephen Romo has more on the disturbing allegations.
Shocking allegations about an unmarked police facility in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, coming to light in a new federal lawsuit.
Detainees are essentially kidnapped, taken, interrogated, frequently beaten, and strip searched.
Now, one of the officers involved, Troy Lawrence Jr., has resigned and is charged with small battery in connection to a different incident. Local leaders disturbed by the revelations.
I made the immediate decision to permanently close the facility.
47-year-old Ternell Brown is suing the Baton Rouge Police Department, saying she endured sexual humiliation while in custody in June. Brown says in the complaint she was stopped while carrying 2 types of her own prescription pills and taken to an off-site warehouse referred to as the Brave Cave by the Baton Rouge Area Violence Elimination Unit, or Brave Team. There, she says she underwent an invasive 2-hour strip search with a flashlight and was released with no charges.
That facility has been around.
So they're saying that this Brave Team and the Brave Cave is like this horrible thing that they were doing. And no doubt this sounds awful that this was a thing. But again, it's like that's just not enough to just say, look, you're completely devoid of any accountability. Even if it was an unmarked car and you were talking about how, yeah, they were playing the ops music and, you know, the passenger, he opened the door seconds before a car hit the side he was on. I personally, look, I'm sorry. And again, I'm going to treat everybody the same. I'm not buying that. Even if he opened the door, you took him on a high-speed chase, you were driving dangerously, you said on the phone, I'll either die or go to jail. You put somebody else in harm's way and your actions caused the death of another person. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. He said, I went to court with a paid lawyer and gave him all the evidence he needed to get the case dismissed. I was threatened with a life sentence if I didn't take the time they offered. Everyone was scared to go up against the police, with me and my wife fighting them ourselves. It made the most sense to take the deal than risk life. If they could rig everything up to this point, I would have walked into a trial full of fake jurors. I'm sorry, but that's just cap, right? Yeah, it's all well and good. You know, you can talk about there's going to be a Brave Team and there's corrupt. I'm sure there's corrupt police in absolutely every state. But, bro, you was a problem. You got murder case, attempted murder. You taking the police on the run. You saying that they were playing the ops music. You saying you were going to a trial of fake jurors. You saying the entire justice system is rigged against you when really the justice system exists to try and keep everybody safe. And I'm sorry. You know, all the NBA's, all the Dirk fans need to be commenting on this video, telling me how brave I've been to keep it real in this situation. I've been fair on both sides, but like, bro, like, I'm sorry, but like, bro, you were danger, bro. You're gonna have to sit down. I'm really sorry, but that just is what it is. Now, what's interesting, right, is that over here on TikTok, okay, there's actually D-Dawg has a TikTok, and it's actually been put out there. Who framed D-Dawg? He's saying he was framed. Now, what I think is interesting is like framed would suggest like. I feel like framed is just going a little bit far. I feel like, yeah, like, this is the only evidence to prove D-Dawg. Like, he's basically posting this stuff on TikTok to basically say he was framed, and it's just, like, clips of this Baton Rouge kind of, like, corrupt segment of the police force, basically. But let's just look at it, and it kind of echoes what the stuff we've already seen.
In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is under scrutiny because of lawsuits that claim officers tortured detainees in an off-site warehouse.
Officers used it to beat people and conduct inappropriate strip searches during interrogation. This Brave Cave is now shut down, but some officers are now in custody. Now, Elgene McNeely with the Baton Rouge Police Department says 3 BRPD officers, Deputy Chief Troy Lawrence Sr., Corporal Todd Thomas, and Sergeant Jesse Barcelona were arrested earlier today and placed on administrative leave.
Matthew Wallace and Catherine Alvarado Cruz were part of the now disbanded street crime unit that operated out of the infamous Brave Cave. Bess Casserly in the newsroom with what this means for the officers and taxpayers.
Well, Sylvia, the suit alleges Wallace and Alvarado participated in the strip search of a woman at the Brave Cave who they were questioning for having prescription drugs. Middle District Chief Judge Shelley Dick.
So we touched on this case before. There's another one here. It says the only evidence to prove D-Dawg didn't kill the passenger was the car, and they destroyed it. It would have been the only evidence to prove that the police lied, other than their lies being caught on camera. Now, let's just see.
It's the only thing that'll prove the police lied.
So where would it be? You don't have a record of where it went or anything of that nature? Okay, so do you typically, you don't keep receipts if you sell a vehicle, if you take a vehicle somewhere? You crushed it? Why would you crush it? That vehicle was crushed on yesterday.
Okay, it came out of lot 4, so it was out of the investigation. It was investigation. It was in their shed, yes it was. And then it was taken out. Once it's taken out, it's on our yard.
So what made you all just crush that car yesterday? Because I just called.
We didn't crush it yesterday.
When was it crushed?
February 20th.
Okay, so I just spoke with someone a few days ago and they said you all have this car.
Yeah.
Here. Like I literally just got the VIN number and gave it to them and they said that car is in here.
You spoke with, because I'm telling you what my computer says.
February 20th, we got a permit to sell. The vehicle has been crushed. Okay, so why did someone just tell me on the phone? They just said that the vehicle was sold as of yesterday.
Okay, I talked to the young lady. She said she told you we got a permit on it. But, well, I know who to talk to you, so I will find out more about that. But the vehicle, we did get a permit on it. It was titled on 2/7.
2/7, okay.
But the vehicle has been crushed.
And see, we called earlier in the week, Monday, and they told us that the car was here. That's an issue. They said that the car was here as of Monday, this week. And so now you all are saying...
that was correct. As of yesterday, it was crushed.
So why did she just say... She just said as of... Did she say February the 20th it was crushed? See, that's why I'm sending too many stories.
That's where they told us to take it out the shed. But they just called us for a crush on the 22nd. But he said those, if we're correct and ready, he said those that he had you pull yesterday were the ones the fire department used in the training exercise.
If he was supposed to crush the car, but he hadn't got to it yet, would it still be on the yard? Like, where do you know exactly?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask him. You can't go there and walk around and look at all.
Oh.
I got the VIN number on the title.
There's part of the VIN.
Okay, I want to see it on the car, though, if I can find it directly on the car.
It was on the windshield, but the police department, the fire department, when they did their thing.
Is it right there? Oh, be careful, be careful.
Don't get cut.
Thank you so much. Would it be right there? Yeah, it's right there.
Look how bad they damaged the car. The car was pretty damaged. I'm pretty sure when I saw the news footage, the car was damaged. Tell you what, let me pull that up and just compare that.
Mangled metal and car fragments are all that's left after Darian Bailey refused to.
How different is the state of that car, would you say? I mean, if I'm bugging, tell me if I'm bugging.
The car.
Tell me if I'm bugging. They're saying, look how car...
You see it on the car, though?
They're saying they were lying. They still had the car, but damaged it. Don't look too... I don't know. I'm not a forensic analyst, but it's like... I mean... Don't look too different to me, to be completely honest. Car's still there. So, look, all right, D-Dawg's got other claims, okay? He's got other reasons as to why, you know, it was out of line, it wasn't true. He's got another clip that he's pointed to a lot, which, again, I don't think this really proves anything. The same as, oh, look, they were playing the Fredo Bang song before they pulled up. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. He's a popular artist in Baton Rouge. They could have just as easily been playing Youngboy. Like, that could be a coincidence, or hell, maybe they knew they were chasing somebody to do an NBA camp. They were bumping a little Fredo Bang to get in the mood. That doesn't actually prove anything at all. Really, it doesn't actually mean anything. And the same way they're saying that the officer, when they made the arrest, they called him an op. And I personally feel like, well, let's just see the clip.
Oh, okay. That's the op. He the op.
They're saying that's the op, he the op, and they're saying note the music in one of the officer's car. It's Click Up by Fredo Bang. Now, I personally feel like, to be very generous with it, I feel like they could basically be saying that's the op purely just to say, like, yeah, that's a famous op, like that's a famous member of NBA. We deal with these warring gangs in Baton Rouge all the time. It's not really unthinkable that they might refer to someone as an op if they're a famous op, a famous enemy, if they're known in the city as an op. Like, there's that rapper from Chicago who goes by the name Big Op. Like, if the cops pull up on him and they say, yeah, we arrest him, that's the op. Like, it's because he's known for being an op in the city. Like, D-Dawg is known for being an op in the city. So that's kind of would be my low-key explanation of that. But there's more evidence that he's kind of pulled up. He kind of says, you know, basically he claims that the front passenger actually bailed out of the vehicle during the chase and wasn't ejected from the vehicle. But that doesn't matter, man. The chase happened. That person wouldn't have been bailing out of the vehicle if you hadn't taken the police on a high-speed chase. And your excuse that you heard them playing Fredo Bang's music, I'm pretty sure I'm hearing a siren here. So that thing, although it was an unmarked vehicle, that falls flat too. I'm hearing a siren.
All right, front passengers about to bail, doors open.
Report states Larry was ejected from vehicle after striking fuel shield. No mention of the door being open. This is cause D ring that it would be broken if feeder flew open from wreck. It's not broken, proving feeder was already opened.
So I can concede, right? If the officer says they're looking to bail out, the front door is open, he could have opened that door and still been ejected from the vehicle from the side. It actually said that the car was hit by two vehicles at the intersection. I don't know what angle the car was hit at, whether it was hit T-boned or hit by two vehicles coming from the same side. But it doesn't matter. Like, you're responsible. You took the police on a high-speed chase and the passenger got killed in the process. If they were bailing out, it's the same thing, bro. You're actually still responsible. That's unfortunately how it happens, because you created the circumstances for this situation where somebody lost their life to happen. Not to mention the minor that got trapped in the back.
All right, front passengers about to bail, doors open.
Report states Larry was ejected from vehicle after striking fuel shield. No mention of the door being open. This is cause D ring that it would be broken if feeder flew open from wreck. It's not broken, proving feeder was already opened. Car crash reconstruction specialist concluded the door was opened prior to the wreck, proving the officer lied. If an officer gives false statements for an arrest warrant, that McKest arrest invalid.
Clearly, there's some inconsistencies, but I would say that it doesn't really change the fact that the circumstances were created by this high-speed chase with the police. And, you know, maybe he didn't get a fair shake at some of his arguments, but at the end of the day, he decided to plead no contest. He could have taken it to trial. He could have presented this evidence. His assumption that, oh, they're going to have an entirely fake jury, I mean, that's a little bit that's a little bit far-fetched. He could have taken this to trial. He decided not to. He decided this would be the best deal for him because he could have gone down the hard way and faced life. And ultimately, look, this is a very serious situation that he created with his actions. But
the GPS is lit up like they're following a tracker on D-Dawg. How did the GPS know to highlight it? Turn to the left where D-Dawg turned.
So he's basically saying that they had a GPS tracker on him. They're saying the GPS is lit up like they're following a tracker. I don't actually know a lot about how these sorts of things work, so I don't know for sure. But again, bro, you're a dangerous criminal. You've had a murder case. You are on bail for an attempted murder. They might have been following you, bro. I'm sorry to say it, bro. The cops probably were following you. And that doesn't mean that you can take off like that, right? So there was obviously all of this stuff that we saw about
Fire department. Remove the
about the car. There was a little bit more to this that we didn't see. So let's just take a look at that.
Dates they state the police removed VIN, then changed it to the fire department. Remove the VIN. They were told to remove it from evidence shed. This vehicle would prove the police lied in the probable cause form. This evidence would have proved the door was open prior to the wreck. After seeing the vehicle, it was destroyed.
Here's the thing, right? It's all well and good. Like, it's like you guys are grasping at one inconsistent or a handful of inconsistencies, but it doesn't change the fact. Just because the door was open, that doesn't change the fact that the situation was created by somebody's dangerous actions. The entire circumstances where somebody died are because of you taking off from the police. You got to just take it on the chin. Like, if he'd have just stopped, if he'd have done the right thing and just stopped for the cops, he'd have been facing, what, a couple years for the guns? Maybe a little bit of time for the marijuana in the car? It's minor, really, in comparison to what he's facing now. And again, he escalated the situation, he escalated the charges, and unfortunately, but yeah, maybe the cops do play dirty in Baton Rouge. That's what you're dealing with, and unfortunately, that's the way it played out. There's a last couple of things that I want to leave you with that we looked into. So one of the details that people were pointing out was that when the cops arrested him, they basically said that he was wearing a mask and a black hoodie in hot summer weather. Now, according to body cam footage, once the vehicle crashed, their description of D-Dawg didn't mention the mask, and he wasn't wearing one when he was arrested either. And once again, it's another interesting inconsistency that unfortunately doesn't change the underlying facts of the situation.
Detective Matthew Wallace states, in the probable cause form, sees Larry, the deceased passenger, holding his middle waistband, implying he thought he had a gun. He states he's seen Darian D-Dawg with a mask and all black, which raised suspicion a crime was about to occur. This is the reason he's giving for following them. D-Dawg realizes someone is following them in a black Charger. He has a disabled passenger and a child in the car. He panics and tries to get them to safety. The passenger panics and decides he'll take his chances jumping out than getting gunned down. The passenger...
It's a very kind of sort of, yeah, it's like a very, very slanted and sort of heroic retelling of the story. But like, how you taking a disabled passenger and a child on a high-speed chase, bro?
Passenger opens his door to jump out, and a car hit his side of the car. Both cars spins and hit another. The entire incident happened in under 3 minutes. This is where the car hit Dawg. This is Larry laying deceased beside his door. This is the car that hit D-Dawg passenger door. The only way this car has front end damage and D-Dawg car has damage to the passenger side is if they ran into D-Dawg. In under 3 minutes, someone is following them. Everyone is panicking. The passenger opened his door. Someone hits the passenger side, and they spin and hit another car. D-Dawg, still in panic mode, jumps out and runs. Pay close attention to Detective Matthew Wallace.
Black male, black shirt, black pants. He's wearing a black hoodie.
Detective Wallace never mentions a black mask in the description of D-Dawg. This would be the most important information if this is the reason for following them. At 2:24 p.m. it shows Tafari Beard and 2 other officers will found D-Dawg. He has a no mask.
He used to run with them pants, huh? I didn't see. I saw him like holding his waistband, but it was almost like he was pulling up his pants. He ran this way.
Brave Team Officer Tafari Beard asked Wallace if he's seen D-Dawg run with anything. Wallace says D-Dawg was holding his waistband like he was pulling up his pants.
I think he prevented the shooting, bro. That dude all fast up.
Tafari Beard then says to Wallace, I think you prevented his shooting, bro. That dude was all masked up. This is proof Wallace never seen Dawg in a mask. Tafari advised him of the mask after he found D-Dawg. This proves Wallace's statement in the probable cause form was a lie. He never suspected a crime was about to occur. His statement says Larry was holding his waist band and he's seen Darian in a ski mask.
You see him running with anything. You know how you can tell the difference with someone running, holding something, and running just to hold their pants?
Detective Wallace states he didn't see D-Dawg running with anything. He says you know how you can tell difference if someone is running holding something or holding their pants. Facts. Wallace states in probable cause form Larry was holding his middle waistband and Darian had on a mask which gave him suspicion a crime was about to occur. The body cam proves he's lying. Wallace never saw the mask before the wreck and Larry was never seen holding his waistband. Darian was holding his waistband after the wreck to hold his pants up while running, not before. Larry was never ejected after striking the windshield. His door was open due to him trying to jump out. The other vehicle crashed into D-Dawg car. So what is the real reason you were stalking them and who's framing D-Dawg?
Well, the real, if you want to say it's stalking, you know, the reason that they're stalking D-Dawg is because he's an infamous, dangerous criminal within the community. I'm really sorry, like that is just what it is, right? He had a murder case. He had a murder case. He pled to manslaughter charges. He had an attempted murder, and now this. And it's a sad situation for everybody involved. It's a sad situation for the families of the people who have been impacted by this. The person who lost their life, their family, that person, the child that was trapped in the back of the car, their family, and even D-Dawg's family. I think it's really sad. This isn't a video where I'm trying to dunk on D-Dawg and be overly negative, but clearly this guy had a very serious criminal history. He was definitely a dangerous individual. We know he's a dangerous individual. The music says he's a dangerous individual. He's somebody that is beloved within the NBA camp and in the Louisiana streets. You know, I do respect that, but he's been described as a crash out, and unfortunately that is really what happened in kind of the worst way, and it impacted other people beyond him. It's all well and good taking the police on a chase solo and crashing the car and saying, I'll just go out like Tony Montana or whatever and just crash the whip and just die, rather die than go to jail. But when you're bringing somebody else into that and somebody else is dying, D-Dawg's living to ride another day. He's living to go on tour. He's living to go and have a good time. So yeah, that's kind of my reaction to the whole thing. Sorry it was such a long video, but I wanted to just do that. And you know, I'm very fair. Like, I'll cast judgment on anybody on any side of a beef because of the music or whatever. It just is what it is, man. And, you know, D-Dawg, hopefully he gets to reflect on this. Hopefully he kind of learns from this. It sounds like he feels like he's the victim in this situation. And really my thoughts with the person who lost their life in this situation, you know. it's a very sad situation, and nobody really would like to see anything like this go down on any which angle that you look at it. So that is the story of D-Dawg. That is my reaction and my thoughts on the situation. I hope you found that breakdown useful and it fills in some of the blanks about this backstory, about one of the kind of most notorious figures in the sort of gangster rap space. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I appreciate you guys for watching it this far. I'm out of here. Thank you. Peace.